day after I received the small claims court order.
Making it impossible for him to go to work. You abuse the system.
Next, Judge Judy.
Tonight on WCHS TV. Next, ET. We're talking to the legends of this year's Super Bowl halftime show, plus our flashback to when we first met them.
E.T. Oh, yeah.
Next, ET. Tonight at 7:30 on WCHS TV.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home.
Get 0% APR for 48 months right now at King Cole Chevy. We have new Chevrolets at MSRP pricing, which means absolutely no market adjustments. And if we don't have the car you're looking for, we can order it at MSRP. Plus, we are giving top dollar on trade-ins. And with new inventory arriving daily, there's no better time to make the short drive to Oak Hill. Or you can shop online at KingColeChevy.com. Get your best deal every day at King Cole Chevrolet. Find new roads with Chevrolet.
News from the morning team you trust. Eyewitness News this morning, weekdays at 6.
Well, right now at 6, having the final say in school curriculum, the amendment that would give lawmakers autonomy on school board decisions and what it means for students and parents going forward. Then schools converting open spaces into classrooms. But are those spaces safe? In tonight's Spotlight on America report, the toxic substance that could be putting students and faculty at risk in these rooms.
Eyewitness News at 6 starts right now.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dave Benton. So who gets the final say over what West Virginian students learn in the classroom is back up for debate at the state capitol. Now, there's a proposed state constitutional amendment that would give lawmakers, and not the Board of Education, the last word on all state school board policies. Danielle Dindak joins us live right now in the studio with where that resolution stands. Hey, Danielle.
Dave, just within the last few hours, the House Judiciary Committee voted to move the House Joint Resolution 102 to the floor. The biggest question, what does this mean for parents and students? Well, the resolution would give the power to state lawmakers to have the final okay over what policies are followed in school. And that includes subjects students are taught, like social studies, math, and English, along with other issues like student discipline, charter school regulations, among others. At the meeting, I spoke with Dale Lee, the West Virginia Education Association president, about the potential trickle-down effect this could have.
The trickle-down effect would be the lack of consistency that you could possibly have in public education. There's a reason that we have a separate Department of Education, is to take the politics out of it. And this really just opens it back up to the politics that it can be different every 2 years.
Through this resolution, lawmakers would be able to overrule both county and state school boards. This idea came up last session. It passed the House, but not the Senate. Even if the resolution is adopted by full legislature, it's ultimately in the hands of West Virginian voters because it'll change the state constitution. Now, coming up later on, we'll take a deep dive into this piece of legislation, and you'll hear from lawmakers about why they think this should pass this year. In the studio, Danielle Dindak, Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Danielle. We know during the pandemic, schools across the country have had to get creative to find enough socially distant space. Gyms, auditoriums, even cafeterias have been converted to full-time classrooms. But Spotlight on America discovered a toxic substance may be lurking in the floors of some of those spaces, posing a potential risk to students and staff. As national investigative correspondent Lisa Fletcher reports, the culprit is hazardous mercury.
It is like landmines in schools, and our children's health is on the line.
Your kids play on it, lay on it, eat and even sleep on it. But those floors that never get a second thought may conceal a toxic threat.
He would come home from school and his hands would be red and raw. And then I learned that the school flooring where he was eating his lunch was contaminated with phenylmercuric acetate.
It's a form of mercury that can have toxic effects on the lungs, kidneys, and brain.
Hey, how was school?
Trisha Dello Iacano believes it may be responsible for what's made her son Liam sick since kindergarten. Rashes, neurological, and behavioral problems are just some of the issues Liam's doctors believe could be connected to the flooring at a New Jersey elementary school where Liam's mom is convinced he was exposed.
Every year we discover new health issues that can be connected back to his exposures, and it's scary.
Starting in the 1960s, mercury was used to help harden inexpensive rubberized floors used everywhere from school gyms and cafeterias to hospitals, daycare, and senior centers. As the floors wear down with age, experts say they're more likely to release neurotoxic mercury gas that can be inhaled.
It would not be a stretch to say that there is a floor like this in every community in America.
Alan Barkum is an environmental hygienist who is part of a unique team of experts in New Jersey, one of the only states taking aggressive action to identify and remove these floors. And Barkum says it's not just kids who are at risk.
A student is in a gym class for 30 minutes, 40 minutes a day. A gym teacher is in that gym for 8 hours a day.
They're breathing mercury vapors that could be hazardous, and they don't have a clue.
100%, if you identify a rubberized floor, it needs to be tested.
Period.
Period.
Can you just have a construction crew come in, rip out the floor, toss it in the dumpster, move on?
Once you discover via bulk sampling that you've got that much mercury in your floor, you're now standing on a toxic waste site. The operation to remediate, to remove one of these floors, it's just a massive operation.
Which logically leads you to the next question, which is, if that's the requirement to remove that floor, why isn't there a requirement nationally to identify these floors?
One of the answers to that has to do with trade secrets. If you have a formula that contains less than 10% of any one ingredient, you don't have to list that ingredient.
Even if it's toxic?
Even if it's toxic. This should remind us of the lead in water crisis in the country. Did we know that lead was causing that much problems when we installed lead pipes in everybody's house? If we did, would we have done it? Now that we know that there's mercury in these floors, can we stop installing them immediately?
For moms like Trisha Dello Iacano, the answer to that question must be yes. And she's on a mission to make sure others become aware of this potential danger hiding in plain sight.
My story is not isolated. There's parents all over the country who are unknowingly sending their child to schools that have this flooring.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Lisa Fletcher.
And you know, in 2020, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker introduced a bill that would require a federal registry of all schools that contain these floors and called on the EPA to investigate. The bill never made it out of committee, but if you're concerned about these floors being in your child's school, New Jersey has released guidance for parents and community members to get involved in this issue and request testing. And you can find that at spotlightinvestigates.com. Well, Kentucky lawmakers are looking to increase the penalty for first-degree criminal abuse if the victim is under 12 years of age. Now, this legislation is known as Cammie's Law, named in honor of a child abuse survivor, Ann Perkins. Executive Director of Safe Harbor of Northeast Kentucky, which is a domestic violence shelter, says throughout the year, she houses 250 children because abusers will often go from abusing a spouse to abusing a child.
A lot of women today that we see, their children are victimized not only by parents, biological parents, but they're victimized by boyfriends and stepfathers and that kind of thing.
Now, if you would like to read Cammie's Law or watch the House Judiciary Committee meeting on the legislation, we put a link in that story on our website.
Well, I said today would be cooler than Wednesday, and it was, but only by a couple degrees. Thought we'd stay in the 40s, but actually many of us got into the 50s again here, so it turned out a little milder, very sunny. afternoon. Looking good there in St. Albans on the West Virginia 511 camera. And temperatures have settled back into the upper 40s to about 50 right now. It is going to get chilly this evening once the sun goes down. Clear skies, not many clouds out there. So we'll fall quickly through the 40s after sundown, 35 at 11 o'clock. And this will be one of those nights again where the valleys see the winds go calm and drop into the upper 20s, while the hilltops may stay in the mid-30s as the wind stays up. And boy, is that wind going to be up tomorrow. It was breezy today. Tomorrow, we could have gusts exceeding 35 miles an hour by midday into the afternoon. And that means any empty trash cans could get blown onto the neighbor's yard in the afternoon. So you might want to make sure to secure those tonight or early tomorrow. We'll talk about those winds and the warmth for Friday, along with a colder weekend coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Doug. Well, hundreds of people gathered today to remember an icon in Kanawha County. Longtime Kanawha County Commissioner Henry Hoppy Shores passed away last Friday. Family and friends gathered today at Trinity Lutheran Church to remember him. Many remembering his love of community and ending with a procession through the streets of Charleston to a celebration of life at the Clay Center. Shore's son, Hoppy, said that his family is feeling the love from the community.
We just didn't realize how many lives Dad touched. I mean, when you live with him all your life, you sort of take that for granted, and this has been really an emotional journey, but the gratitude from the community has been wonderful.
Many remembered his work with the children of Kanawha County and always supporting the underdog. Well, coming up on Eyewitness News at 6, abandoned structures catching fire and the plan state leaders have that can help smaller communities tear down those structures.
My name is Sarah Newcomb, and I am a cancer survivor. I am so thankful to the Thomas Health Cancer Center and Dr. Jogampali and all of his nurses, because they make it possible for me to be here and to be with my little girl and to be with my husband and make sure I don't miss family vacations and I don't miss out on her soccer tournaments and her soccer games. And, you know, we get to go to church every Sunday and we get to do all the things, and that's because of them, because of everything that they do, and because, you know, they make you feel like you're not giving up. You know, we're not going to let you, we're going to drag you through this, we're going to help you through this, we're going to do everything we can to get you through the hard part so you can be there for all the fun things. I'm definitely winning the battle. I am a survivor, and I'm going to be around for a long time.
Joe Manchin delivering a likely death blow to the Build Back Better plan.
Joe Manchin already killed off Biden's radical agenda. Now Biden is bringing it back.
So I'm confident we can get pieces, big chunks of the Build Back Better law signed into law.
New name, same liberal agenda. Tax cuts for blue state millionaires, ending church-based childcare, and giving billions in handouts to radical environmentalists. No matter what they call it, it's the same liberal agenda.
The law believes in facts.
Next, Judge Judy.
And welcome back. Dilapidated buildings are becoming more and more of a problem in local communities, posing safety threats with dangerous conditions and drug paraphernalia left on site. Well, West Virginia State Auditor J.B. McCuskey is going around the state to propose a solution. Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Kahn spent the day in Logan County and has more on what the state auditor and local leaders would like to see happen.
When you take the Hatfield-McCoy Trail connector through Logan, you're going to come out of it seeing buildings like this, and that's extremely frustrating to Logan City officials. But the issue of dilapidated houses is not unique to this area.
They have to see this. It's a mess, and it's going to take a lot of money.
Logan Mayor Serafino Nalletti said he's embarrassed by his city's burned but still standing Blight downtown. They've counted about 55 properties they'd like to tear down. This year, Logan's already had 4 abandoned structures catch fire.
property owners have passed on, and the younger generation has not taken care of them, or just completely let them go. And that's the issue we have. We have issues where our firefighters are having to deal with structure fires, where vagrants or whoever set them on fire, and then those issues just compound themselves when you put people in harm's way.
Similar concerns in Chapmanville. Mayor Joel McNeely says there's at least 4 properties, including this apartment complex, that keep causing headaches. There's between 300 and 400 houses to be torn down in the entire county.
This is a blight. This is a hazard. This doesn't need to be. As pointed out here, there's needles and drug paraphernalia all over this.
State Auditor J.B. McCuskey is trying to make it easier to tear these types of buildings down. He's proposed a bill requesting $30 million for demolitions, awarding larger regional contracts to do it all at once.
The idea is if we contract out this on a statewide basis, we can create economies of scale that are impossible for a city or county to do on their own. And so we can tear down 10 or 12,000 houses with $30 million, whereas if they were doing it piecemeal, you would only get to tear down about 1,500 or 2,000.
These mayors are hoping something gets done soon.
If this bill passes, it will really help Logan out, the county out, the whole state out.
I plead with the legislature to help us take care of things like this.
In Logan County, Anthony Kahn, Eyewitness News.
Now, the bill currently sits in Senate Finance and House Judiciary Committee.
Well, we've got windy, warm weather for Friday, 60-degree weather, and gusts over 35 miles an hour. Don't get too comfortable, though. It's going to get colder for the weekend, and some snowflake opportunities, although not many for most of us. And then another warm-up next week, maybe 70 this time next Thursday. We'll talk all about it with your 7-day forecast next.
Thomas Health Physicians, caring for our community.
I chose to get the booster because I wanted to put my employees first, my family first, and everyone around me first. Obviously, include myself. My health is important to me.
I mean, from my perspective, the COVID booster is the best, easiest available way to stop the spread of the virus. And I chose to get the COVID booster to keep my family, my friends, my coworkers, and complete strangers as safe as I possibly can. Don't wait. Set your booster date.
Ashley's President's Day sale is going on now. Save up to 30% on select styles. And shop beds starting at only $319. Or get 3 years no interest. Only at America's #1 furniture and mattress store. Ashley.
Home is where the heart is. I know it's corny.
Yeah, that is corny. Keep going. It's just that feeling of coming in and you're like, I'm home.
To me, home means being able to be yourself.
You can walk around in your underwear and no one will see you, except for the rest of your family.
I'd rather be home than anywhere else. So, to me, home is everything.
I would have to agree with you.
When I had my car wreck,
car accident,
hit by a drunk driver,
I called Jan Dills.
I called Jan Dills.
Jan's team definitely made a big difference.
She is just plain good at her job.
Well, with a record-breaking heat wave across portions of California this week, Super Bowl 56 could be the hottest Super Bowl on record this Sunday. And our meteorologist Brandon Lawson is breaking down just how hot this year's Super Bowl could be and why it's so hot out west. Hey, Brandon.
Yeah, hey there, Dave. It's not only just hot out there, also very dry as well. Just south of where the Super Bowl is going to be played, the Emerald Fire firing up earlier this morning, 4 o'clock this morning, likely when this fire started. Wildfire burning near Laguna Beach, California. You can see the video from our CNN affiliate here, just the smoke and the fire burning there. Again, that's just miles south where the Super Bowl will be played. This caused by Santa Ana winds. High pressure, it builds in east of the Sahara as that air and that wind goes down the mountain. As it goes down, it sinks, it warms and compresses the air there and also dries out the air as well. So you can see how the deserts can dry out near the surface and how that air squeezes through the canyons and the valleys there, and it spreads that fire out as well. Now, heat advisories are in effect for much of California here. You can actually zoom in a little bit closer and see Los Angeles County included in that heat advisory. Record-breaking heat advisories here. It's the first ever heat advisory issued for the state of California in the month of February with temperatures between 86 and 91 degrees there. The hottest Super Bowl on record, set in Los Angeles, California, 1973, 84 degrees. And then you go down the list there, San Diego, California, all the way down to Miami, Florida at 76. Strong ridge of high pressure over top of California there, bringing that heat to SoFi Stadium for the Super Bowl on Sunday. 3:30 Pacific time when this starts, so it'll be 84 degrees for kickoff, obviously starting 6:30 for Eastern time there. Very hot championship game, but SoFi Stadium has a lot of cool technology, and guess what, folks? That should keep it cool for the players and the fans. Reporting live in studio, I'm Brandon Lawson, Eyewitness News.
We're still a long ways off from 84 degrees, but 60s tomorrow? Oh, yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Warmest day so far this year is 63. And that was the first day of the year. Yeah, January 1st, we hit 63 degrees. We really haven't been close since. Yesterday was about the closest we've come. 41 days ago. But tomorrow, yeah, I'm forecasting about 63, 64 for Huntington and Charleston here, maybe even a little bit warmer than that. And most everybody should get up to at least about 60 up in northern and eastern parts of West Virginia. So it's going to be a toasty day. But it is also going to be a windy day. Not Santa Ana winds around here, but southwesterly jet stream is going to be kicking up ahead of a cold front, so we'll gust easily 35, maybe 40 miles an hour. We were gusting 25 today, and those winds were pretty strong. So, again, I have a feeling we're going to see some debris kind of getting blown around, maybe even some power flickers out of that wind. As a storm system, the low is actually going to stay well north of us into Canada, but it's going to push this cold front in our direction. And as that approaches, the wind will start to increase again after decreasing a little bit for tonight. We're in the 40s to about 50 now. We'll drop quickly now once the sun goes down. We'll fall back through the 40s into the 30s here before midnight. Now, this will be another night where the hilltops will probably stay in the 30s because the wind will start picking up there, but the sheltered valleys will fall into the 20s. So some of us may get off to a pretty frosty and cold start Friday, but it's not going to last. We could already be up near 60 by noon. Clouds will begin increasing, but we'll have some sunshine, at least for the morning hours. But again, that wind is going to be howling at times, and those temperatures spiking up into the 60s. The rain from that system, don't think it's going to get here until well after sundown, so I think we're fine at least through dinner time. Then showers will start kicking up by 8, 9, 10 o'clock. They're just plain rain showers. I mean, we could still be at 55 degrees at midnight tomorrow night. It will get colder once the front crosses by Saturday morning. Mountains will switch over to some wet snowflakes, but it doesn't look like much moisture. A lot of that tapers off here into Saturday afternoon. It's just going to be back to February. Temps in the 30s to about 40. Now, there were questions about whether that front was going to stall to our south and east. It does look like that's going to happen here Saturday night and Sunday morning, but far enough to our south and to our east that any accumulating snow is going to fade mainly into Virginia and North Carolina. Our best bet actually for some snow this weekend may come late Sunday night. A little trailing system will scoot in here. We might get a very light accumulation into Monday morning, but all in all, I think the main snow threat here this weekend is going to be down to our south and east. So if you have travel plans Saturday night, early Sunday, down towards, maybe Lewisburg and certainly Roanoke or Charlottesville, Virginia, that's where they could have a couple inches of snow. The rest of us, doesn't look like much. And again, I think our best bet may be Sunday night, early Monday for a light accumulation. It will be cold. Sunday, Monday, high temperatures, low to mid 30s, but it's temporary. We start another warming trend later next week, and I've actually got us at 70 degrees long about next Thursday.
All right, we look forward to that. Thanks, Doug. And Marshall is gearing up for its latest home game. The Herd will be looking to end a 2-game skid. We will discuss next on Eyewitness Sports.
There is a lot at stake here.
Tonight, 6 new challengers step up to the podium for this primetime collegiate clash.
Anything can still happen.
The battle for the semifinals rages on. The Jeopardy National College Championship continues tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
A hard look at the reality of the multi-billion-dollar green energy industry.
It's only a question of which pollution do you prefer. Choose your poison.
Is green really clean? On the next Full Measure.
Sunday on WCHS TV.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Oh yeah, nuggets! 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
Senator Joe Manchin is delivering for West Virginia. He's leading the fight against inflation and for lower energy costs through innovation, not elimination. He's fighting for energy independence and for creating good jobs right here in West Virginia in manufacturing, infrastructure, and American energy. For Joe Manchin, it's not about politics. It's about West Virginians. Thank you, Senator Manchin, for fighting for us. Lower cost, more jobs. Let's invest in West Virginia.
Pick and Pay Liquidators are back. Saturday, February 12th, get iPhones $5, laptops $5, Apple Watches $5, Oculus Prime $5, plus many more unbelievable deals. Don't miss Pick and Pay's sale this Saturday, February 12th in Kanawha City beside Big Lots and KV Jewelry.
Come join us. Bible Center Church, Sunday mornings at 10 on WCHS TV. Our mission is at the heart of everything we do. Online, on campus, on air. Bible Center Church, Sunday mornings at 10 on WCHS TV.
Enjoy the beauty of home with the Ashley Weather Cam.
And welcome back to Eyewitness News at 6. The Thundering Herd of Marshall will square off with Florida International. It's the second meeting of the season between the two. FIU defeated Marshall back on January 20th by a count of 70-66. Both teams come in trying to end two-game losing streaks. Marshall is 8-15 overall with just one win in Conference USA. FIU is 13-11 and has just 3 victories in league play. Dan D'Antoni is looking for contributors. Recently, we had a chance to spend time with Herd big man Goran Milodinovic.
Well, it feels like home now. I'm familiar with everything. I know a lot of people, a lot of places. Like, it's pretty good now. At the beginning, like, I was still getting used to it and even used to American life and everything. But now I'm pretty good with it. I guess you get used to it, but I also like it. I like to change places, to travel, to experience all this different stuff, and I think it's definitely a blessing, and I'm happy that basketball let me experience all this stuff. It's interesting to know like how people think differently and like act differently and like live differently everywhere. I feel like I'm completing myself as a player now that. Before I was just like a traditional big man. Now I'm more like I can stretch my game a little bit. Well, he definitely helped me evolve from the traditional big man to like the modern one. He told me a lot of things. He said like you can't just stand under the basket anymore. That's not how the game is played. So I've been trying to work on that and improve myself. I chose international business because I like to travel, so I want to be like a sales representative and travel the world selling stuff, and I think I'm pretty good at convincing people into doing stuff, so I think I can sell anything.
Now Milodinovic and the Herd will meet up with the Panthers starting tonight, 7 o'clock. And don't forget Saturday mornings at 9:30. You can join us for Marshall Basketball Today with Dan D'Antoni, sponsored by the West Virginia Lottery. And that will do it. Now with this edition of Eyewitness Sports.
Your heart guides you through so much, like following dreams and falling in love. So when your heart is telling you something is wrong, you need to listen. Listen by paying attention to your symptoms and getting the care you need from the region's premier cardiac team. We are the specialists at St. Mary's Regional Heart Institute, providing the most advanced care for your heart with all the compassion and commitment from ours. St. Mary's Regional Heart Institute. Your heart is in the right place.
As a struggling actor, I need all the breaks that I can get. At Liberty Buchamode.
Cut.
Liberty Bibbity.
Cut. We'll dub it.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Once weekly Ozempic can help. Ozempic is proven to lower A1C. Most people who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it. And you may lose weight. Adults lost on average up to 12 pounds. In adults also with known heart disease, Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attack, stroke, or death.
Ozempic helped me get back in my type 2 diabetes zone.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Ask your healthcare provider today about once weekly Ozempic.
You may pay as little as $25 for a 3-month prescription.
Looks quiet this evening. We'll drop through the 40s and 30s before midnight. Valleys will keep dropping into the 20s. Some of the hilltops will stay in the 30s. And then it's going to turn very warm tomorrow. 50s to near 60 already by lunchtime. 64 for the daytime high would be our warmest day so far this year. Clouds will increase. Some showers after dark tomorrow, just rain showers. And then it gets colder this weekend. Temps will be in the upper 30s, lower 40s for Saturday. Some rain and a few wet snowflakes. Maybe a couple light snow showers Saturday night, early Sunday, especially in southeastern West Virginia, and a couple more late Sunday into early Monday. We'll start next week cold, but we could climb back to 70 next Thursday.
All right, thank you, Doug. And that'll do it for us on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. You can join us in just a couple minutes over on Fox 11. Make it a great evening. We'll see you.